At the end of the topic, you will be able to define a matrix, determine the order of the matrix, differentiate the various types of matrices, compute the transpose of a matrix. Matrix. Here, you can see a classroom where students are seated in row-wise as well as column-wise. Can you guess how you can relate this to any mathematical concept? Well done, your guess is right. This setup is nothing but a matrix. Definition of matrix. Matrix is a rectangular array of entries displayed in rows and columns enclosed within square brackets or parentheses. Matrices are usually denoted by the capital letters of English language. Here are some examples of matrices. A is equal to 1, 0, -5, 7, 4, 2. B is equal to A, B, C, D, E, F. Components of a matrix. In a matrix, rows are counted from top to bottom and columns are counted from left to right. Consider the matrix A. Here, the horizontal arrangements are known as rows and the vertical arrangements are known as columns. Here is an example. Let us consider a matrix A. 2, 4, 8, 6. Row 1 contains 2 and 4. Row 2 contains 8 and 6. Likewise, the entries 2 and 8 are in column 1, 4 and 6 in column 2. Also, you can observe that there are 2 rows and 2 columns. This is a 2 by 2 matrix. Order of the matrix. The number of rows and the number of columns present in a matrix denotes the order of the matrix. Generally, if a matrix contains m number of rows and n number of columns, then we can say that the order of that matrix is m by n. Let's now see in detail about the types of matrices. There are different types of matrices. They are row matrix, column matrix, zero matrix, square matrix, rectangular matrix, diagonal matrix, scalar matrix, identity matrix. Row matrix. You can see that the fruits are arranged horizontally in a single line to form the row matrix. A matrix having only one row is called a row matrix. Column matrix. Here, the fruits are arranged vertically in a single line to form the column matrix. A matrix having only one column is called a column matrix. Zero matrix. A matrix A is said to be a zero matrix if all the elements are zero. This is also known as null matrix. The first is a zero matrix of order 2 by 2 and the second one is of order 2 by 3. Thus, we have zero matrices of any order. Square matrix. A matrix in which the number of rows and the number of columns are equal is called as square matrix. Thus, the matrix having 2 rows and 2 columns is a square matrix of order 2. A matrix with 3 rows and 3 columns is a square matrix of order 3. The diagonal from the first element of the first row to the last element in the last row is called the principal diagonal of the square matrix. The elements along this diagonal are called principal diagonal elements. Rectangular matrix. A matrix for which the number of rows and the number of columns are not the same is known as a rectangular matrix. A matrix of order m by n, where m not equal to n. For example, consider a matrix A equal to 1, 5, 7, 8, 2, 6. The order of the matrix A is 2 by 3. Number of rows equal to 2. Number of columns equal to 3. We found that the number of rows is not equal to number of columns. Therefore, the matrix A is a rectangular matrix. Now let us discuss the diagonal matrix. In a diagonal matrix, all the entries except the entries along the main diagonal are 0. In the matrix given below, there are 3 different rows representing 3 different numbers along the principal diagonal, and the remaining elements are 0. Scalar matrix. A scalar matrix is a diagonal matrix in which all the entries along the main diagonal are equal. In the matrix given below, 3 identical stars representing the same number present along the principal diagonal, and the remaining elements are 0. Identity matrix. An identity matrix is a scalar matrix in which all the entries along the main diagonal are equal to 1. This is also known as unit matrix. I3 denotes an identity matrix of order 3. Let's now learn the transpose of a matrix. The transpose of a matrix A is a matrix obtained by interchanging its rows and columns. The transpose of the matrix A is denoted by AT. For example, if A is a matrix of order m by n, then AT is a matrix of order n by m. In the given matrix, if we write the first row elements as the first column elements, the second row elements as the second column elements, and the third row elements as the third column elements, we get the transpose of the matrix. In this topic you have learnt, a matrix is a rectangular array of numbers enclosed within brackets. A matrix with m rows and n columns is of order m by n. A matrix having only one row is called row matrix. A matrix having only one column is called column matrix. A zero matrix is a matrix which has all its elements equal to 0. If the number of rows equal to number of columns, the matrix is a square matrix. A matrix for which the number of rows and the number of columns are not the same is known as a rectangular matrix. Diagonal matrix is a square matrix which has non-zero elements along the main diagonal with all the other elements equal to 0. Scalar matrix is a diagonal matrix whose main diagonal elements are equal. A unit matrix is a scalar matrix with the main diagonal entries as 1. The transpose of a matrix is got by interchanging its rows into columns.